Guys, I did my live tonight, and y'all think I'm still protecting Gypsy. I'm not. I have proof that everything she says is bullshit. And I'm not protecting her. I'm protecting me, my mental health. Every time I go after this woman, she friggin' attacks. She's taking so much from me.
Right, so Ryan finally broke his silence, and y'all, he wasn't nasty. He wasn't petty. He just laid it out there. Calm, straightforward, real. And honestly, you gotta give him credit. Because when you're dealing with someone like Gypsy Rose, who's known for spinning stories and getting vicious, staying classy takes serious restraint. Y'all, he wasn't on live crying. He wasn't on live name calling. He didn't bash her. All he did was said his truth and defended himself. And y'all, he did it without getting in the mud. Meanwhile, let's be real. We've all seen how Gypsy gets when somebody doesn't play along. She drags them online. She leaks text messages. She builds a whole story and posts TikToks like she didn't just light someone's reputation on fire. Y'all, Gypsy loves a narrative, and she loves to be the victim in it. Ryan didn't attack, he defended. And y'all, that's allowed. You're allowed to protect your name when someone tries to twist the truth about you, especially when the whole internet is watching and assuming you did something wrong, because Gypsy cried first. So y'all, shout out to Ryan for handling it like a grown adult, because if you know Gypsy's history, then you know staying silent doesn't keep you safe.
The drama between Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Ryan Anderson has officially taken a new turn, and this time, it's Ryan who's telling his side, and he's not sugarcoating anything. For the longest time, he kept relatively quiet after their split, even when speculation swirled online and people begged for answers. Many thought he might still be protecting her or avoiding the spotlight, but that silence? It's over. Ryan didn't just come forward, he laid the groundwork for what many now see as a major turning point in the narrative surrounding Gypsy's post-prison life. What caught people off guard is how Ryan approached it. He didn't explode in anger or go viral by dropping receipts. Instead, he spoke calmly, deliberately, and with the weight of someone who's been through emotional hell and finally reached his limit. In his live session and the follow-up video, he didn't rant or rage. He explained. He clarified. And he revealed just enough to expose what he says was a toxic, manipulative relationship, without dragging himself through the mud in the process. At the heart of his message was a simple but powerful truth: he's no longer afraid. Ryan said he's finally seen Gypsy for who she really is. And when a man stops calling you by name and starts referring to you as this woman, that's when you know the respect is gone. It wasn't just a bad breakup. According to Ryan, this was something much deeper, much darker. He openly labeled Gypsy's behavior as manipulation. He said she didn't just argue like a partner upset, she retaliated like someone trying to destroy him piece by piece. It was emotional warfare, calculated and brutal. One of the most shocking claims he made was that anytime he tried to defend himself or speak his truth, even in a small way, Gypsy would react with extreme measures. Once, he said, he posted just one text message. That was all it took. Gypsy allegedly responded by exposing deeply personal medical information, something that had never been shared publicly and had nothing to do with their breakup. She allegedly made threats, created chaos, and emotionally attacked him in ways that left scars. He described it not as a spat between exes, but as psychological warfare designed to make him retreat into silence.
Guys, I did my live tonight, and y'all think I'm still protecting Gypsy. I'm not. I have proof that everything she says is bullshit. And I'm not protecting her. I'm protecting me, my mental health. Every time I go after this woman, she friggin' attacks. She's taking so much from me. And if y'all don't understand that I'm trying to protect my mental health, then I have nothing to say. Like, I am so friggin' mad at this woman for the shit she has done. So mad. And no, like, I didn't accept her apology. She called me that whole week. I never answered the phone. Like, guys, y'all can think what you want, but I'm just not into friggin' trying to ruin people's lives like she tries to do to me. Does she deserve it? Yeah, she does. But I'm better than that. And I want y'all to realize that. I am better than that. And if y'all don't understand that, I don't know what to tell you.
That's why, when some fans questioned why he didn't go all in and release everything, texts, screenshots, voice notes, he clarified that he wasn't trying to shield Gypsy. He was protecting himself. Ryan said he realized that choosing not to spill everything wasn't weakness, it was survival. It was strength. And for once, it wasn't about exposing her, it was about protecting his peace.
Ryan, so this is for you. I know that you want to please everyone, but you can't. This is social media, and not everyone's gonna like you, not everyone's gonna love you. Some people are always gonna find an issue with you, and some people will always love you and always support you. But at the end of the day, this is your life, and it's played out on TV for you, unfortunately. So a lot of people view it as entertainment, but for you, it's not. This is your real life, and you've had to deal with a wife cheating on you publicly, your wife getting pregnant on you publicly, and then trying to defame you and villainize you. And for the public, it's entertaining, but this is your real life, and you really have to protect your energy, your space, and how you deal with this situation. Honestly, I would never suggest you going on a TikTok live and spilling all the beans. If you are going to spill all the beans, put it in a book, because what you've been through, get a check. You and your life is not for our entertainment. Gypsy maybe, because she deserves it, but you, no. So I would have never suggested you coming and spilling all the beans anyway. But just protect your space, put you first, and don't worry about the rest.
He went on to address Gypsy's emotional apology video, the one where she broke down in tears and described Ryan as her safe space. At first glance, it seemed raw and remorseful, but Ryan saw it differently. He said that video wasn't made for him, it was meant for the public. A strategic move. He claimed it was all about damage control and sympathy, a way to make her look like the heartbroken victim while subtly shifting blame onto him. He admitted her emotions might have been real, but the message wasn't about healing, it was about keeping control of the story. According to him, she even lied during that video, manipulating the facts to suit her version of events. And even after the video, Ryan said she kept calling him for days, trying to pull him back into the relationship. But by then, he had already made up his mind. He didn't pick up. He didn't respond. Because he saw the pattern. He saw the manipulation for what it was. And for the first time, he refused to play the game.
Okay. Monday morning, she wakes up, and somebody told her that she was wrong, I guess, because all of a sudden she releases an apology flyer. An apology flyer on her TikTok and Instagram with crying eyes saying, "I'm sorry" to me. Okay. I saw that. Okay. Thank you for that. Then comes the apology video. Okay. The apology video. All right. Watching the apology video, number one, first and foremost, you should have called me first. If you were truly sorry, you should have called me first. That's what I would have done. But that's what anybody would do.
What makes Ryan's side of the story so compelling is how deeply he reflected on the emotional impact. He said GYPSY didn't just hurt him, she tried to break him mentally. Every small act of defiance, every attempt to stand up for himself, was met with calculated cruelty. This wasn't just about arguments or mismatched love languages. According to Ryan, GYPSY used private knowledge as weapons, turning his most vulnerable moments into tools for control. She knew what would hurt and didn't hesitate to use it. He shared that she created an environment where he constantly questioned himself, second-guessed his reactions, and felt unsafe emotionally. He wasn't just dealing with a toxic partner, he was, in his words, surviving a narcissist. And for anyone who's been in that kind of relationship, his story struck a nerve. It's not easy to walk away from someone who knows exactly how to twist the truth, especially when the public is still watching, still speculating, still siding with the person who seems more charming or sympathetic. But Ryan didn't explode. He didn't expose everything, even though he says he easily could have ruined her if he wanted. He chose not to, not because he was afraid of her, but because he knew that would destroy his own healing in the process. He didn't want revenge. He wanted freedom. And that's exactly what he claimed to have finally found. While Ryan may have finally broken free, not everyone in Gypsy Rose's orbit has found that same clarity. Take Bree, for example. She wasn't always like this. There was a time when she came across as self-assured, independent, and focused on her own life. But now, it's like watching someone completely lose their identity. She's not even a shadow of who she once was. These days, Bree's become GYPSY's mouthpiece, her tool, her defender, her enforcer. Whatever GYPSY doesn't want to say out loud, Bree does for her. It's more than loyalty, it's blind allegiance. Bree jumps into fights that aren't hers. She speaks on behalf of GYPSY with so much force that it's obvious she's been sent. And what's worse is how strategic it all is. Remember that live Bree did where she hinted she had dirt on Ryan? She claimed she knew something big, something dark, but wouldn't reveal it unless GYPSY gave her permission. That wasn't just a random moment of drama, that was a warning, a deliberate power move. It was GYPSY using Bree as her chess piece, pushing her forward to intimidate, while staying clean herself. Ryan didn't flinch. He laughed. He recognized exactly what was happening. Bree wasn't acting out of her own mind. She was following instructions. Acting like a guard dog who only barks when her master tells her to. And this wasn't the first time Bree was used like this either. There was another situation. Ryan had reached out to GYPSY during a vulnerable time. It was a genuine, emotional message. He was clearly in a low place. But instead of keeping that moment private, GYPSY handed it to Bree and let her post it publicly. Why? Because GYPSY didn't want to face the backlash. She didn't want people to think she was trying to hurt Ryan, so she made Bree take the fall. And Bree did, without hesitation. GYPSY later admitted she didn't want to look like the villain. So she let Bree carry that burden. That's not protection. That's manipulation. And Bree, to this day, still doesn't seem to see it. She still believes she's doing the right thing, still thinks she's standing by a friend. But all she's really doing is being used. And this isn't just about Bree. This is a pattern for GYPSY. She gets close to people who want to feel important, who are emotionally exposed, who crave love or connection. Then she molds them into what she needs. When they outlive their usefulness, she either discards them or binds them tighter. Ken's a prime example. He's not in a screaming match with her like Ryan was. His entrapment is quiet, subtle. It's built around their child. Every time he tries to pull away or set boundaries, she reminds him they're tied through their baby. It's not about co-parenting, it's about control. Emotional leverage disguised as parenting. Ryan, too, was once her comfort zone, her emotional anchor. Until he stopped going along with it. Then she turned on him instantly. She leaked their messages, tried to smear him online, and encouraged others to do the same. The second he stopped enabling her, she decided to ruin him. And then there's Nick. His story is the darkest of all. GYPSY manipulated him for years, pretended to love him, made him feel like her only hope. And when she finally got what she wanted, her mother out of the picture, she dropped Nick like he was nothing. Left him to rot with a life sentence, while she walked free. That's the extent of her manipulation. And people are still defending her? This is who GYPSY has always been. She finds people at their weakest, offers them something they've been longing for, love, validation, purpose, and once they're hooked, she rewrites their script. She breaks them down or traps them in. And somehow, she always manages to avoid being seen as the mastermind behind the damage. But Ryan? He did something none of the others managed. He didn't sneak out. He didn't hide. He walked away loudly, with his head held high. He looked the mess in the eye and said exactly what needed to be said, honestly, publicly, and without fear. He could have exposed GYPSY with proof. He had it. But he didn't. Not because he couldn't, but because he was above it. That's strength. He chose to move forward, not backward. To rebuild instead of retaliate. To claim his peace without needing revenge. That's rare. You can hear it in the way he talks now. The way he doesn't even mention her by name. That's not pettiness. That's detachment. That's healing. Ryan is free in a way none of the others have been. Bree's still tangled in loyalty. Ken is stuck in emotional quicksand. Nick never had a chance to escape. But Ryan walked away with his identity intact. He broke the cycle and never looked back. Now, the real question is, what will GYPSY do next? Let it go? Or will she reload and send Bree back out again? Will she try a tearful video apology? Will she play victim one more time for sympathy? If there's anything we've seen over and over, it's that GYPSY doesn't surrender control quietly. She plans. She manipulates. She plays the long game. This silence could just be the build-up to her next move. She's love-bombed, guilt-tripped, and gaslit before. But Ryan's already survived it all. He didn't just walk away, he escaped. He's even talked about telling his story in a book, and maybe that's exactly what he needs to do to shut the door on this part of his life. And if he writes it? The only fitting title would be Surviving GYPSY Rose Blanchard. This isn't your average internet drama. It's not one of those fleeting social media storms that fades after a day or two. This is something much deeper. It's about spotting manipulation when it's masked as affection. It's about understanding how narcissism can sneak in dressed like vulnerability, using sob stories as shields and apologies as weapons. And more than anything, it's about realizing that peace, real peace, takes work, especially when toxicity feels like home. Ryan had every reason to blow the lid off everything. He had receipts. He had voice messages, proof, moments he could have weaponized in a heartbeat. But he didn't take that bait. He didn't go for revenge or internet clout. Instead, he made a quiet, powerful decision to protect his mental health. To walk away without becoming what tried to hurt him. And that's strength most people never find. He didn't just survive someone like GYPSY, he freed himself. He didn't lash out. He didn't fight dirty. He simply took his power back and refused to be pulled into the chaos she thrives in. While others are still stuck in her orbit, still trying to please her or prove themselves to her, Ryan chose something better, himself. Now the big question is, what's GYPSY's next move? Will she let go, now that she can't control him anymore? Or will she go back to her old playbook, tears, guilt, and manipulation, using someone else as the next pawn? And if Ryan does decide to tell his full story in a book, you can bet people would be glued to every page. Because let's be real, what we've seen so far, it's probably only the surface. So stay locked in. Share your thoughts. Follow the story. Because it's not over yet. Not even close. And as for GYPSY, losing control isn't something she takes lightly. Especially not to someone like Ryan. Someone she couldn't intimidate, someone she couldn't twist. Someone she couldn't break. And that, right there? That's what real survival looks like.